What does it mean to thrive as a man? There's several angles of approach and measures of distinction that I could give you that I find absolutely, thrillingly, vitally important. This glyph behind me is a great story of how men might thrive. And I'm going to ask you to distinguish for you where you are in this. Don't worry, I'm going to sell you on each piece, right? So I'm not giving you a model for the thriving of a man that you don't disagree with, or excuse me, that you disagree with, or that you're objecting to. You're not here to take this on or take this in as an introject, like more programming from the freaking domestication machine out there. You're here to feel into it and see if it resonates for you and if reaching for the highest possibility for you is something that you actually want. So here's the thing. Most men settle for shitty relationships. Most men have not activated their full capacity and power to be a social rock star. That is, we can drop you anywhere in the world where they speak your language, and you can know that you can create a date or relate. You can absolutely know that you get to experience a high quality to the measure of your standards and criteria partner of the opposite sex or same sex for our person in the room who's got that going on. Um, and if you haven't fully activated those skills or nobody taught you, well, guess what? That's a problem. If we are made to eat and we're not taught how to find food, some of us are going to go hungry and starve. And then our behavior will be deformed by the lack of social nutrition. I've been exquisitely present over the past several years to that unique and specific pain. So this isn't just about getting a great date. Being sexual, being romantic is a byproduct of being social in a nourishing, consistent, reliable way. One way to create dates is to be about the business of engaging in activities that you love, in communities that you love, and well connected to and within those communities that you love. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you at with this? Right? And not all of us are just going to create a community when we don't have one. You have to go find one. You have to go fit into one. Perhaps this is your one. That's fine. This is a great base, great secure base. So all of us need secure bases of attachment and safe havens. A secure base is when you feel comfortable and secure enough to go out and explore. Like, all right, I got my tribe. I can go walk out there. And we do this at enchanters meetups where men feel better to go approach women they don't know when they've talked to men that they do. And some of you are partnered or married. But here's the thing, if you don't know how to be about the hunt and you haven't owned that, you might have settled for a relationship that is less than your highest choice, and you may have resentment or a wandering mind, not necessarily a wandering eye. That's like the more detrimental form of the thing, but a like, is this really the best that I could do? Is this really my highest choice? If you're settling, eventually it will creep back up on you and it will unsettle you. Settling will unsettle you. Isn't that interesting? Now, I'm not saying you can't find the treasure in the measure of what you have. I'm not saying you can't optimize and thrive through whatever relationship you've created to whatever degree. But some relationships are so dysfunctional, so misaligned, so perpendicular to what you truly and ultimately and most highly value and prioritize that you might be hanging on and holding out from fear of loss and fear of missing out on what you already have rather than pursuing your highest choice. And again, I'm not here to make statements globally about what to choose for each individual, but I am saying on a scale of 1 to 10, do you see the power in thriving as a social rock star? Yes or no? Okay, amazing. So let's say you have that skill. We can get you out there. And some of you are, between 20 and 40, right? You're between knight and prince. The knight wants to get paid and get laid. The prince wants to get out there and build something, but wants someone to join him on that journey. And the king has his queen, right? So you have a flow of energy moving through you. It cycles and recirculates through Jing, which is the vital energy in the sexual organs, Qi, the energy of the breath, and Shen, the luminous essence of the heart. It comes about as you serve, as you engage in your craft, as you do your art out here in the world, as you live your purpose, as particle flow comes to you, as attention is given to you by people who you're impacting. So that gets cultivated through selfless service. And these energies are meant to flow through you in a certain way. They are not meant to be squandered, thrown to the four corners of the earth for the illusion and the hijacking of your sexual reproductive system by pornography. They're just not. I'm not saying it's intrinsically bad and wrong. I'm saying there's a general intention to keep you weak, numbed out, and dulled down rather than living at your edge. And so, whether it's brahmacharya, also known as semen retention, or recirculation of energy through a microcosmic or a macrocosmic orbit, or a level two Babaji Tantra Cobra breath, or a frickin', you know, set of Kegels, or whatever it is, right? That enables you to live at your edge and penetrate the world from your edge rather than dulling. Whatever that is, that will unfold into the capacity for things like supersex, extended sexual orgasm, orgasmic meditation, tantra. There can be, in my mind, a Christian tantra. That's something that I need to editorialize for myself. Um, your partner actually has 13 different energy bodies. And if you've satisfied all of your spiritual and emotional needs, you're now free to please her in ways that she can't possibly imagine. And here's the thing, for every woman that you want to have sex with, even and especially in relationship, if she's any level of attractive, she's had sex before, probably with someone who's more attractive than you. So what do you get to do? Get skilled in sexual health and vitality. Wake it up. So if you're addicted to pornography, jerking off every day, feeling scatterbrained, foggy-minded, scale of 1 to 10, where are you at in that area? Let's say you have this, and let's say you have that. What you get to enjoy are great dates and great sex. But if you don't have conscious language, or what we call the skillet relationship, then you're shit out of luck when it comes to maintaining your relationship. 70% of marriages end in divorce, which means 1 out of 2 of the married men in this room may end up divorced, just statistically speaking. If we include the men who have been married before, the statistics, they fit pretty well. There's at least 1 out of 3 formerly married men, including the formerly married men, who have gone through a divorce. So, skilling up in relationship, how to create containers, how to live from agreements. I just taught you those agreements. You don't know how to live from them yet. How to respond to nervous system hijack, dysregulation, dysfunction, how to confront dysfunction elegantly and lovingly, how to build and hold healthy boundaries, how to cease to people please, how to stand in your integrity and be an inviting, warm space for her to step into hers. Scale of 0 to 10, where are you at with that? Now, the worst thing for a woman is to be one of the worst things. I mean, there's worse things for sure, but one of the worst things is to be stuck behind a parked car, as in a man who's not willing to or available for, even aspiring to, reaching for his highest purpose, his highest potential, his highest prosperity, and his highest possibility. Anything less than your highest choice is self-sabotage. It's time to thrive or fucking die. If you're not growing, you're dying, is absolutely the truth. And that's why I created this group, is for you to thrive alongside other men who are committed to thriving. So live your purpose. On a scale of 1 to 10, how in your purpose do you feel? I felt pretty high up in my purpose personally. I know that when I show up here, this is what I am for. This is what I'm meant to do. And then when we come to the other end, the other side of putting all this together, because imagine this is looking down at you from the eyes of God. In the eyes of God, you're already perfect, whole and complete as soul. But in order to exist in this physical reality, there's certain skills that you don't have and nobody taught you. They taught you to trigonometry. They taught you the capital of Delaware. They taught you the most useless freaking shit, but they didn't tell you how to hit it or how to love it. And they certainly didn't teach you because the medical industrial complex, the financial industrial complex, the educational industrial complex, the military industrial complex, which is where this whole thing comes from. Egos run these things, egos that love the power that they have to be paid attention to and the importance that they're given through these systems. And they'd rather you be codependent on them, looking to them for your authority and how to conduct yourself in your life rather than being in your sovereignty, leaned back in your power and capacity. Preachers, teachers, family, friends, media, and government have domesticated and programmed you. It's time to wake the fuck up, to break open the cage. And how do we do that? Well, the best way is to cultivate an awakened identity. And Steve and I were talking about it today on the call. We're talking about, all right, what's actually really silly to seek love through people. Love doesn't come from people. It comes through people when you tune to it. Abuse doesn't come from people. It comes through people when you tune to it. So change the freaking channel and tune into the love that never leaves, the love that always ever was inside of you. And we may get into some of that through facilitation today. I've been itching to facilitate some men back into who they are. And this was 2 days ago. One of my clients was experiencing this pain of rejection and abandonment. And we did a release resistance around that, and he let it go to a really meaningful degree and experienced in his body this new space of possibility and grace and openness. Because if we're loved by God and we don't need love through people and we don't need the approval of people, then we're a danger to the delusional systems that are enslaving people's attention and energy and money and resources. So scale of 1 to 10, where are you at with this? If you haven't answered it yet, where are you at with this? Who's got a ways to grow and a way to go? Okay, yeah. So that's what we call the path to the confident lover. The path to wake the F up as a man, to go from wounded warrior, prematurely ejaculating, some of you, addicted to pornography, not getting nourished and nurtured as is your birthright by the feminine. And I'm not talking any particular feminine woman, like, oh, I demand the right for you to nourish me. Like, no, no. The nourishment of love doesn't come from the feminine. It comes through the feminine when you tune to it. And when you become a man of character and stand up in your own skin as the leader that you are and always were, then what becomes possible for you is a feminine woman can fall into step beside you or behind you, can surrender to you, can open up to you, can go into freaking lordosis like the mammal she is. Lordosis is when it's like in the doggy style position, right? She's ready for you. She's giving it all she's got, Captain. And we merit that. We merit that posture and that positioning energetically and emotionally first, because everything is foreplay. And if you're not cultivating relational hygiene and managing the energetic emotional space between you and her and keeping it clean and clear, then you can absolutely bet your ass and trust that you're not going to have great sex, or the sex is going to be disconnected or infrequent or rare or whatever, right? So wake the F up, become a confident lover. And if you want help doing that, comment below. I'm ready.